Meditation is hard work. It takes time and effort, so we need to know what are the benefits for meditating on God's Word. Well, in Joshua 1:8, God promises Joshua success if he will just meditate day and night on the law. We all want success. We all want to be happy. We all want to be free from stress. Well, today we're going to look at Psalm 19 and look at some of those benefits that will hopefully motivate us to do this hard work of meditating. This is Jackie Anderson. I'm a missionary in Ethiopia, and I hope today that I can share some of the things that I am learning. Starting at verse 7, the law of the Lord is perfect, restoring the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The precepts of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true. They are righteous altogether. They are more desirable than gold, yes, than much fine gold, sweeter than honey and the drippings of the honeycomb. Moreover, by them thy servant is warned. In keeping them, there is great reward. This short devotional can't begin to unfold all the beauty that is in this psalm, all those beautiful words. But I hope this week you will take time to saturate your mind and heart with these images. Let's look at verse 14, the last verse of the psalm. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. This is actually a prayer, and we can pray that right now. Lord, let the words that come out of my mouth be acceptable. May what I think about, my meditations of my heart, may it please you, Lord, for you are my rock. You are my stable person in my life. You are my redeemer. Making lists is a study tool that can help us clarify and emphasize what we're learning. The first list I see are the names given for the word: law, testimony, precepts, commandment, judgments. The basic meaning of law or Torah is teaching, instruction. God lovingly gives us teachings so that we know how we should live. Testimony comes from a word that means to give witness. It is used in the Old Testament in reference to God, so His word is a testimony and should be accepted as truth. Precepts is always plural and comes from a verb meaning number, reckon, or punish. Think of these precepts as responsibilities. Commandment is used to describe the famous 10 Commandments. It comes from a verb to command or charge. It's an expression of God's nature and desires. Judgments comes from a word meaning judge or govern. It appears about 400 times in the Old Testament. The idea is justice. Now let's make a list of the descriptions of these words. Law is described as perfect. Testimony, sure. Precepts, right. Commandments, pure. And judgments are true. Doesn't that list encourage you to trust God's word? Here's a challenge. Be very aware of how you read the word this next week. Come to the scriptures as your authority that is sure and right and pure. Examine your heart and say, am I listening to God as my true counsel, full of wisdom? Here's a list of what the word does for us. It restores the soul, makes us wise, rejoices the heart, enlightens the eyes. It is more desirable than gold, sweeter than honey. The word gives warnings, and in keeping the law, there is great reward. These benefits are wonderful. Just looking at that one about honey. When I think about honey, I think of something that I add to dry cornbread and makes it so much better. I think of honey as something local that I can buy that is good for me in so many ways, including preventing colds. I think of honey as something that's tastes sweet on my tongue. You know, like after a meal, you just want that one thing that seems to be sweet. In the same way, that's the word. Does that list of benefits motivate you? I know when someone tells me about a diet plan that they are following and they tell me all about the benefits, well, then I think seriously about following that plan. But I have to be in a place of need. I have to realize that my old way of living is not working and I need a new plan. Daily meditation has been proven scientifically to be beneficial. Here's some of the things I found online. It helps us in handling stress. It helps us to process our emotions. It deals with loneliness. It improves our memory and gives us better grades. It gives us clarity in mind. And so when we meditate on God's word or truth, all these benefits are also helping us. This psalm is by King David. And King David, as a very young man, sought God's heart. David wasn't perfect, but he knew God was his rock and his redeemer. He knew how important it was to make his mind stop, rest, and meditate on God's word. David was convinced that God could restore his soul, give him wisdom, and make him a joyful, happy person. How about you? Are you convinced by looking at these verses today that meditation is the way to go? To do the hard work and experience all these benefits? Do you value God's word as being more valuable than gold, sweeter than honey? I can testify to you that as you taste the word, it does grow sweeter. Our prescription for joy today. I would love to have you read this psalm, these verses 7 through 11, every day for a week. Try to meditate on it for 15 to 30 minutes each time. You can pray to be led by the Spirit to enlighten your eyes. And think about sharing what you learn with someone else to be an encouragement. You will experience the joy of God, your rock and redeemer. I hope you will try meditation this week and find all those benefits. If this helps you, share with others.